In today's video, we're talking about a card that is spiked 1200%, and it's not the only card. When a card becomes popular, it starts to just pump up the volume. Yeah, it's a cheesy reference to like an 80s movie with Christian Slater, I think. That's all right. You guys will forgive me. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me today in this nacho cheese universe that is YouTube. We're talking about a card that has spiked over 1200%. We've got some other cards to talk about as well, and it's kind of insane. Now, in these kind of videos, I don't like to make you wait. But a reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, like and subscribe to the channel. Join in. Help me get closer to that 26,000 subs, guys. We're going to get there together. Now, let's jump into this card. Let's get the party started. So, this is Demi-Lich from Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Remember this set that didn't do so well? But this card originally, when it first came out, I remember all kinds of people trying to play with this thing. And I know it has a home in Modern, but we're going to get there. Look at the spike at the end of the page. This thing was $1. And now it's $13.99. It's funny what a few good wins and a little popularity can get you, but it's not the only thing. Even the extended art, which used to be a couple of bucks, is now up to the $28, $29 mark, which means it was $1.50 and it like went up like 1240%. Like, these are insane numbers to look at a card jumping up. If you're a player who happen to have like 10, 12 copies, you've just made a couple of $100 on a few dollar investment. It's crazy to see where these cards can go. And when something spikes and becomes popular, it really only matters to you if you're playing in the format that this card is popular in. So let's take a look at Demi-Lich here, okay? So Demi-Lich, you can see, is a 4 casting cost, 4/3 skeleton wizard, and it's a mythic. But what's interesting about this card, I remember trying to make it work a few times myself, was you have to get a lot of instants and stuff going, okay? Because the spell states that it costs 1 last to cast for each instant and sorcery spell that you cast this turn. So you can get pretty cheap pretty quick. But even if you kill it, right, it says whenever Demi-Lich attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You get to copy it. You get to make that copy, work for you, okay? You get to cast it. But you may cast the Demi-Lich from your graveyard as well by exiling 4 instants and or sorcery cards. Guys, this is insane to think that you can make this guy keep coming back. You can bring him back multiple times. So you just need the right type of deck around him to make him sing. So here's a modern deck that I'm showing you right now. And this is the deck right now that's using it, okay? You can see 4 of the Arc-Light Phoenix, 4 of the Demi-Lich, 4 of the Dragon Rage Channeler. Then we got the Sorceries of Faithless Looting, which, by the way, I didn't put that card in today's video as a spike card, but there's a particular version that's up like 2,000%. Because there's so many copies, though, I'm not counting it because it's not every copy going up. Highway Robbery. This thing's also got all kinds of instances like Consider, 4 Force Negations, Gut Shot. Take a look at the list. Take a few minutes if you need to. And if you're playing, you might want to see like, hey, this isn't a bad idea. But that's where things can go with cards like this. This is where the popularity of a card can get totally insane because you didn't expect it. And when Wizards of the Coast bans certain cards, they're just no longer playable. People will find other things, or you can find an unrealized combination based on new cards that come out, like the Highway card, right, being added in. When that thing came around, it's an amazing card with plot. I love that card. So what are we talking about in terms of value? A card going from $1 to $14 is a big deal. To think it was a bulk rare, and now this thing is being desired. And by the way, it's got the sales to back it up. Take a look at this. So here we are looking at TCG Player's sold listings, and as you can see, the Demi-Lich has sold hundreds of copies. This is just one page, okay? There are hundreds of copies sold on this card since the 16th of December, since the announcement date of the bannings and unbannings. When one thing is no longer usable, they will look for the next best thing. Demi-Lich seems to be the filler card in Modern. You guys will let me know in the comments section, I'm sure. But the sales tell us. When you see 4 of, you know somebody's getting a playset for a reason, and it's not to play kitchen table Magic. They're doing this because they're going to build something. Crazy to see, and I can't wait to find out exactly how well this card does inside of tournament play. That is where the real rubber meets the road, and we see if this card can really take off. Will Demi-Lich hold its own, or is it all speculation at this point and it's going to fall apart? You guys will let me know in the comments section because I don't play Modern enough in any competitive way to really put a thumb on this and say, I know. So I got to look to the audience to let me know that stuff. Now, Although I can track sales on stuff, this was a pretty easy one because when Wizards of the Coast unbans things, sales can get nutty. And yes, it's an unbanned card, but we're not talking about Mox Opal. That card only it went up a little bit, but not nearly as much as Splinter Twin. And here's the version Rise of the Eldrazi. The average price now is $29.95. This thing has gone up so much, it's crazy. From like a $4 or $5 card. It has risen 325% since the 16th of December. Now, where does that leave a card like this? Well, obviously players believe, even though this card is an older card, that it still has a lot of play to be given inside of a competitive format like Modern. When we look at Splinter Twin, 2 red, 2 other, enchantment, aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has tap to put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. That token has haste, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Think about everything that has like when it's first summoned. Crazy effects that will go off means this card is going to get played huge. And people buying it are buying 4 copies. Now, when we take a look at the sales, when you go and take a look at TCG Player, right? I'm showing it right here. TCG Player, you can see here the 18th, 17th, you can see here. There's a couple days mixed in. It doesn't look like a lot of sales, but the real difference between what we saw with Demi-Lich and what we're seeing with Splinter Twin is Splinter Twin, that's a word salad, Splinter Twin, this card has already been reprinted. It's been around for a while. It's not its first rodeo. This thing, it got reprinted in Modern Masters 2015, and it was on the list. So it has multiple versions available, and all those versions are being hit. I mean, Modern Blue Moon is playing this thing the most right now, right, when we're seeing it, but the idea that this thing is going to keep being played and expanded upon is something that players shouldn't ignore if you're playing the Modern format. You can't say, oh, this card's not going to do anything, because it is definitely going to have impact in the format. And Wizards of the Coast probably believes they have a handle on it right now, which is why they're not worried about unbanning it. But we also have to take the effect that, hey, chances are they're going to cash in on this one because the price went up a lot. And if it stays high, if it is competitive and the price holds, they're going to reprint it in short order to make sure they can cash in some of that equity of unbanning something that they're in control of. Never forget that stuff. Either way, here we are at the end of the video. And I gotta be honest, cards like Faithless Looting, there's some other crazy stuff that went on that I thought was pretty interesting to look at. But again, with Faithless Looting, because there's different versions of the card, and so many versions are like pennies on the dollar, it's not something I'm going to jump on as a conversation topic, but it's something at least to mention to you guys to say, hey, if you have that version, look it up, because it might be a pretty expensive card right now. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here with the Mox, man. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow. Oh, I almost said it was the weekend. We're not the top 10 yet. We still have one more video tomorrow before we get to the weekend. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So, hey, have a great one. Enjoy a game of Magic. And don't forget, it's an awesome game. Always bring a friend. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh yeah, guys, here we are at the end of the video. And I got to do a big shout out and thank you to my fantastic patrons. The patrons are the ones who make it happen each and every day. Thanks again for supporting the channel. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow. We're only going to go away for a little while. We'll miss each other. We'll do postcards. We'll do group chat and stuff. We'll find each other on the Discord. It's all good, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Welcome back to the end of the video. The Ramble Jamble section. Ramble Jamble. We're here at the end. You've made it. Now we have a couple things to talk about. Number one, yesterday's video. I understand people don't follow my logic sometimes. I get it. You don't have to. But at the same time, I know a lot of people on the channel jump to my defense. Remember, it's okay. I don't take it personally. Somebody just thinks they know more than you do, and they feel the need to tell you that. And it's okay to let them talk and let them do it. As long as they're not being derogatory or any real like nasty behavior, it doesn't bother me. So don't worry. It's cool, okay? But at the same time shows us what happens. So, if I had 108 Mox Opals, 108 of them, and I bought those Mox Opals, Mox cards, Moxes. If I happen to have larger positions, and I sold 100 of them at, say, $105 Canadian each, I mean, that'd be a significant gain, right? even though this card was banned for years. And I bought it around the $20 to $30 level. Interesting to see how people still say, no, that doesn't happen. I know weird things happen sometimes. And people don't like it when somebody makes good and they don't. And that's okay. Let them have their opinion. I want a whole diverse conversation inside this chat. I don't want somebody stifling somebody else. I want us to have these comment sections open. Let's not being rude. It's the ramble jamble. We gotta all, coalesce together and like chill out. It's Magic. It's a great game. We don't have to be mean to each other. We can be nice. It's free. I like it. I like your style. I appreciate the people trying to defend, but it's okay. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program. Ramble jamble! Guys, have an awesome one, man. Enjoy the day. Have some fun. Play some Magic. Don't worry about the financial side. Yes, you should worry about the financial side. Don't overspend for cards. Save every penny you can and get the cards you really want. Guys, have a great one. Magic's awesome.